So, this is the sauna masterclass. Now, the sauna is one of the most powerful tools for increasing longevity, accelerating recovery, improving cardiovascular function, and rewiring your stress resilience. And it has been hiding in plain sight for thousands of years. So, in this masterclass, I'm going to go deep into the science behind the sauna, the different types, the life changing benefits, the exact dosing protocols, and then also some of the mistakes that almost everybody is making with the sauna. So let's dive straight into it. So just a quick disclaimer, everything on this page is strictly for education and research purposes only. This is not medical advice. Now, saunas, it's become certainly a hot topic within the last 15 to 20 years, and the Scandinavians have been obsessed for certainly thousands of years. There are estimated to be about 3 million saunas just in Finland, which is mind-blowing, and there are some suggestions saying that there's more saunas than cars. If you look at the chart, the photo on the left, it's pretty mesmerizing. And then, just going to show here, they're destroying pretty much every other country. It even says here Finland has one sauna for every 2 inhabitants, which is crazy. I believe they did also used to have a sauna competition in Finland, but it did get banned. I think it was becoming quite dangerous. So, just goes to show how obsessed the Finnish are with their sauna usage. Now, in terms of the main 2 types of the sauna, you have the dry sauna, which is the most common one found in most places, and I believe most of the studies have been done on dry saunas as well. Simply, it just heats the air around you and then heats your body. And most dry saunas are around 70 to 100 degrees Celsius, and they also just work from outside in. So the hot air warms the skin and then gradually raises the core body temperature. Humidity is about 10 to 20%. So a little bit different to the next one, which is the infrared sauna. This kind of heats your body directly without significantly heating the air around you. So the infrared wavelengths penetrate deeply into the body, and it causes you to sweat a lot. I do find it is a more gradual increase in temperature. These are a little bit lower. They are about 45 to 60 degrees Celsius and slightly less humidity as well. Now we're going to dive into one of the most powerful benefits of the sauna, and that is it being a very powerful activator of heat shock proteins. You have to see heat shock proteins as like the cellular repair crew that come in and help with the proteins that are misfolded. Now, in terms of the heat shock proteins, there are several key players. You have heat shock protein 27, which stabilizes the cell structure under stress. You have heat shock protein 70, which is almost like the workhorse, so it just refolds damaged proteins, so super important. You also have heat shock protein 90, which is a critical signaling protein. There are studies suggesting a 3 to 5 fold increase after the sauna with heat shock protein 90, which is incredible. And then you also have heat shock protein 60, which protects the mitochondria. Now, usually in unhealthy people, for example, if they have cardiovascular issues, inflammation, gut issues, excess weight, proteins do misfold and they kind of just clump together. And then these clumps are called amyloid aggregates. And these are tied quite heavily to neurodegenerative diseases, for example, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. You also have the risk of increasing cardiovascular disease and just general aging as well. So it goes to show the power of sitting in a sauna for 15-20 minutes a day. It's pretty profound. Here's just a couple of studies on PubMed further examining the heat shock protein 70, which was the kind of refolding of the damaged proteins. So it'd be worth checking them out as well. Secondly, they are a cardiovascular supercharger. In terms of the mechanism, two main mechanisms is that firstly, the cardiac output doubles. So you get this surge of blood which creates stress on the artery walls, and this activates something called endothelial nitric oxide, which then produces nitric oxide, which is the body's most powerful vasodilator. So that's the first benefit. And then in terms of the second one, you have these molecules called ICAM1 and VCAM1. These almost attract inflammatory cells to vessel walls. So with the sauna, these molecules do get suppressed, reducing any sort of plaque build-up, which is just mesmerising. Now, there was a 2015 study on sauna and cardiovascular health, and it is probably one of the most iconic studies there is. It was done by the heart disease cohort, and again, just looking at the difference even from doing it 2 to 3 times a week to 4 to 7 is pretty profound. So 63% lower risk of sudden cardiac death compared to even just doing it 2 to 3 times a week. There was a 22 reduction versus once. And again, this was put up by Bowtie Fizz. If you don't follow him on X, he is a great follow, especially if you are an athlete. Again, he creates this quite well presented chart, which, looking at the right hand side, I mean, it goes to show just the benefit of doing it a couple of times a week, but then you get this monumental shift in benefit to doing it like 4 to 7. I mean, just looking at the all-cause mortality being 40%, I mean, if you could, package up a supplement with these sort of benefits, it'd sell billions. So, yeah, the sauna, it is a massive win, and it is great to see that it is being pushed quite heavily, and they are becoming a lot more common and affordable as well. So, yeah, in terms of cardiovascular health, they are fantastic. Like, them stats are just amazing to look at. Now, the third most incredible benefit is the sauna and growth hormone. Now, growth hormone, you've got to see it as the master repair and regeneration signal. Very important for athletes, but also just for people looking to optimize their health and feel incredible. You do get a massive surge in growth hormone post sauna use. There are a lot of studies saying a 3 to 5 fold increase after the sauna with growth hormone, and depending on your protocol with the sauna, there is also a potential to hit to around 16-fold increase. That I'll tell you a bit later on in the different protocols for the sauna. So it just goes to show you get a massive surge in growth hormone. And growth hormone does decrease about 15% per decade after 25. So again, it's something to take careful consideration of. Now, in terms of some of the benefits of growth hormone, you've obviously got the muscle preservation and growth. So growth hormone almost stimulates IGF-1 in the liver, which activates mTOR-C1 in muscle tissue, which drives protein synthesis and muscle growth. So if you are like a bodybuilder, a post-sauna session is going to be a no-brainer. Other benefits include kind of the lipolysis, so you basically just turning your body into a fat-burning machine, and you do also get a lot of cellular repair via the collagen synthesis. So, yeah, growth hormone super important, and the sauna, again, proving to show that it can massively upregulate, which is amazing. This was just one of the studies on PubMed with growth hormone release with heat exposure. And here were some of the benefits I mentioned before. Now it is becoming a lot more mainstream, and a lot of elite level athletes. So you have Erling Haaland on the left and Cristiano Ronaldo, both at the top of their game, and obviously goes to show, even with Ronaldo being, certainly kind of at an age where most footballers would retire, it's amazing to see that he is still going strong. And yeah, obviously the sauna is proven to show the kind of longevity benefits. So yeah, amazing to see. And even Tottenham Hotspur, although they are on the brink of relegation, they have got a hold of Finmark, which is a pretty high-end sauna brand, and yeah, they've chucked in a load of saunas into the training ground, or I'm not sure how many, but they've definitely put some saunas, or maybe just this sauna, into the training ground. So yeah, looks incredible. Now, one of the main other benefits is the detoxification. We live in a world full of toxins, unfortunately, whether that's from plastics, heavy metals, pesticides, herbicides, hormonal residue. It's pretty hard to kind of stay away from everything. So, although sweating isn't the primary detox pathway, definitely address liver primarily, and the lymphatic system, but definitely sweating from the sauna is going to get rid of some of these fat soluble xenobiotics. So it's amazing to see. Now, Brian Johnson, if you don't know this bloke, he does want to live forever, and he posted an interesting tweet on X. I think it was a while ago, but he just broke down where he did 15 sessions of the sauna, and as you can see here with the first point, it massively reduces the environmental toxins in his body. A lot of these here are just folates. Folates are basically just used to make plastic softer. So as you can see with MEHP, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce that other one, but yeah, undetectable. And yeah, in terms of the microplastics, it seems like every bloke nowadays has plastic in their balls. So if this is true, then yeah, it's kind of suggesting that saunas are becoming a non-negotiable. I think he actually did put a post out yesterday saying his microplastics had got to 0 in his which is mesmerizing, really, kind of hard to believe. But he just said it was down mainly to the sauna and using kind of a reverse osmosis water filter system, because a lot of tap water can have kind of these toxins in them. So that's pretty awesome to see. Now there is another protocol by Dr. David E. Root. Basically, the idea is that these environmental toxins get stored in the tissue and they're quite difficult to eliminate. So, kind of in a very short saying, the protocol is just a case of taking niacin, waiting for a period of time for the flush, then you do some light exercise for 15 minutes to half an hour. So that could be like a slow jog or a fast walk or a fairly basic swim. So you do that and then you hop into the sauna afterwards. Again, this, by the way, is quite an in-depth protocol. There is a lot more to it. So if it's something you would consider doing, then first of all, read the book. And then secondly, I've kind of lost my train of thought. Yeah, so read the book, and then maybe, I'm not sure if he does consultations, but potentially you could try and book a consultation with him. I think he has done a couple of podcasts online as well, so it might be worth watching them and giving them a listen. So again, it just goes to show that the power of detoxification with the sauna and taking niacin beforehand, which is vitamin B3. Andra on X, she, by the way, is an amazing follow. has so much insight into health optimization. She addresses kind of saunas being a supportive tool for the clearance of mold, as it can interact and penetrate the skin. Now, some mold symptoms, so if you have lived or are living in a moldy environment, it's definitely worth. So, firstly, address kind of the main symptoms are fatigue, brain fog, sinus issues, congestion of the nose, headaches. So, if you are kind of feeling them symptoms and you have got mold in your home, I would definitely recommend looking into a mycotoxin panel. They are expensive, but health is wealth. Being healthy is the most insane return of investment. So, yeah, it's definitely worth having a look into a mycotoxin panel if you are showing them symptoms and if you have lived or are living in a moldy environment. Obviously, if you are in a moldy environment, then it's very important to try and get rid of it as soon as possible. Now, in terms of taking detoxification to a whole new level, a lot of people now are starting to take binders, which can be used kind of 30 minutes to a couple of hours after the sauna. And this again just aids in boosting the detoxification of the sauna. So you have the one on the left, modified citrus pectin. So you got to see it as this dissolves in the gut. It kind of binds to certain toxins, and it just forms like a gel-like matrix in the intestines, and it's a chemical reaction. And then on the right you have activated charcoal, one of the most popular ones, which is it's almost like a porous carbon material with a huge surface area, and it kind of acts like a sponge, so it holds all the compounds in its pores as it passes through the GI tract and into the stool. So again, if detox is one of your main things to work on, then maybe worth having a look into modified citrus pectin and activated charcoal. I mean, the benefits seem never ending. A couple more heavy hitters are the mitochondrial biogenesis from the sauna. So this is basically just a creation and formation of new mitochondria. And then you've also got it reducing inflammation as well. So two other amazing benefits. I also love kind of the stress relief side of the sauna. Being in the hot box is just very therapeutic, and I always advise to stay off your phone and use it almost as like a meditation practice. So yeah, it's such an amazing tool, and I've become obsessed with them in the past 2 to 3 years, and yeah, post gym as well, I found my recovery has just gone to a whole new level. So yeah, there are some of the most amazing benefits of the sauna. In terms of dosage, the two most common ones, firstly you've got the kind of cardiovascular longevity protocol, which I do recommend for most people. This 4 to 7 times a week. I mean, every day's, if you can do every day, then fair enough. Probably wouldn't advise doing every day, but I reckon 4, 5, 6 times a week, it's really good. And I love the progressive overload structure to it as well. So if you are new to the sauna, I just advise to start off small, maybe 10, 15 minutes, maybe at a lower temperature, and then, maybe every week or every session, just maybe add a little bit. I find for me the sweet spot is about 20 minutes to maybe 25 at a push, depending on how I'm feeling. But yeah, I don't think you need to be going in any more than than 25. And yeah, with the temperature, I know most saunas, I guess you can't really have too much control of it, especially if you want to cool it down. If you want to heat it up, then just throw a bucket of water on. There's usually some bloke in there chucking a crate of water on, making it mega hot. So yeah, usually around 80 to 100 degrees Celsius. The second dosage is kind of the growth hormone aggressive heat stress protocol, which is kind of 2 to 3 rounds of 15 to 20 minutes. So do 15-20 minutes, have maybe 5 to 10 minutes out. People do like to do the contrast therapy of maybe an ice bath and or a cold shower in between, and then getting back in the sauna for 15 to 20 minutes. I'd also advise with this, do the 15-20 minutes and then maybe take a few minutes before you jump into like an ice bath. It can be a bit of a shock to the system if you're going from one straight into the other. I found it can be a bit of a jump. So yeah, especially if you are new to it as well, just be careful with that. Now, this was the one Dr. Andrew Huberman suggested in terms of hydration. Obviously, you sweat like mad, so it's very important to hydrate afterwards. I would recommend, well, this is what Huberman recommends, it's 10 minutes, it's about 500 millilitres. So for me, yeah, I'll kind of do in between 1 to 1.5 litres. And also aim for, if you've got a reverse osmosis water filter system, like that is a game changer. So if you can get a hold of that, chuck in some electrolytes, and you are fully optimized and living the dream. Now, one of the notes to consider with the sauna is the heat having potential impairment with sperm. Again, this was Brian Johnson's tweet on the sauna, and he talks about it devastating his fertility markers quite significantly. You've got motility, morphology, it's quite a few that have decreased pretty much by half there. However, with kind of an ice pack, he's found it's gone back to normal. So, yeah, it's a tricky one to say really. In terms of, the benefits are so incredible that I think unless you are planning to have children, then maybe avoid the sauna. The first best option is to have an ice pack on your balls and work with that. That's probably the most optimal way of doing it. If not, if you, like most people, maybe go to a sauna in the gym and you're going to work out before, I assume most gyms don't have a freezer knocking about, so it's just a case of possibly using the sauna, and then when you get home, maybe chuck an ice pack on your balls. That's another strat. If you've got a sauna in your backyard, you're laughing really. You can just chuck the ice pack on, no stress. There was a study here on PubMed as well talking about sauna exposure and affecting sperm. It is a huge issue, especially with the toxins we're exposed to daily. Fertility, it is almost a bit of a crisis. I think it's 1 in 6 couples are now struggling to have kids, which is pretty profound numbers. So I'd be careful, but as I said, if you can go with the ice pack option, that's the best. If not, then potentially when you get home, just chuck one on. So it's a good suggestion. Now, if you want to look cool as fuck, I'd definitely be throwing in a sauna hat. People say they can stay in a little bit longer. You look mega cool. And yeah, I think it's just potentially protects your hair as well. It can get very dry. So yeah, probably worth just investing in one of these. It doesn't really matter how daft you look. And yeah, if you're wanting to do a bit of even more research and analysis of the sauna, I definitely recommend watching these two by Dr. Andrew Huberman and Dr. Rhonda Patrick. These go very in-depth into the benefits of the sauna. So I'd be looking deep into that. But as I said, we've covered a lot of the insane benefits. And that is everything wrapped up. Also, I am currently running an 8-week functional bloodwork program, which is bloodwork is the key to health optimization. So I am currently running an 8-week program where we do an in-depth analysis